Now let's go into our new movements for this week. And the first one, working the pulley, I'm just going to give you a short demonstration of this first. So it's a forward stepping movement. In this case, as I step forward with my right hand or my left foot, my left hand comes up as well, and my right hand just kind of sits palm up by my side here. And then I come forward, and look at this, I kind of start really doing the most profound shifting that happens with any of these movements. And this goes through this 9 times, just like any of the other forward stepping movements. So I'm just going to come forward one more time and I'll close it, and then I'll show you how this works. So let me start by showing this to you from a little bit of an angle so that you can see how the pieces of it come together. So first of all, in the forward stepping movement, this hand comes up into just the starting place, which is going to be, if I turn forward just again, as this arm comes around behind you, it comes up beside your shoulder. So that's about the starting place. And then this hand is going to come back beside your hip. So it's not in front of your pelvis, but just to the side, like this. Right, so here we go, forward. This is our starting place. So as you go forward, I'm just going to stick with the right hand for a minute. So just the left hand for a minute. So let this right hand just stay by your side. As you go forward, you turn, and instead of it being like the push-pull where you turn in place, what you're doing is you're coming around that pulley that's been mentioned. And in this case, the pulley is quite a large disc that finishes as your arm comes back by your waist. So if I turn this way and show it to you, as I come around, you can see that my fingers are kind of stroking the outside edge of this pulley, and then I come back as I reach back behind my pelvis. So the movement, as it comes around, actually has almost as if your fingertips were just stroking the outside of that disc, like that. As you come back, you'll find that to reach backward, you have to allow a little bit of a twist, otherwise you just get stuck back here. So you kind of turn with it, and your hand comes again around the pulley to get you back up beside your shoulder and forward again. So that's the motion that you're going to be going through. And then with the back hand, the same thing is happening, except it starts at the back part. So by the time I'm coming around the front, I'm coming around the back, and then they pass each other as you go forward. So that's the arm movement. And it's a really good movement for getting you the feel of how you stay in your center, because as much as you're going forward, you've also got this balancing hand coming backward behind you. So the places where people often go awry with this is primarily around cutting short this and kind of turning and coming back. So really give yourself a nice roundness. And the next part is how you come back. And so there's a really important piece about getting the sense of drawing back through your elbow. And you'll find that otherwise your hand drops down, it becomes kind of something like this. And so if you come around this and then transfer your awareness to drawing back through your elbow, you'll get the sense of how you get the lower part of this in a parallel line to when your hand comes forward. So those are the two major parts of this. And then the third one is that as you reach backward, as you come around, it's not going to be the same kind of circle as you did when you came forward. Your arm just doesn't really go that way very well, even if you're allowing your body to turn. But you are coming in and around, and then coming, as you come up, as close as is comfortable for your body, kind of coming fairly close to the shoulder. So you're not, for example, coming like really wide like this. You're kind of, whatever works for you about kind of coming back close past your shoulder. So those are the three major pieces of the arm movement, is just making sure that you go around a full wide pulley, that you're coming back through your elbow, and that as you reach around behind, that you're coming back somewhat close to your shoulder as you come through again. Now, the lower body parts are not as big, but they are some important pieces to support you in this. So, for example, as you come forward and this arm is going back, I'm going to go at an angle again so you can see this, is that as I go forward and come over this way, to turn into it, there's a little bit of a turning on that ball of the foot, because it allows your body to rotate just a little bit more. So if your foot just stayed with the heel lifted but not having a little bit of a twist in it, you would find that you had, it really restricted your turn. So just letting, it's not profound, but just letting your back foot turn a little bit on the ball of the foot to really help yourself open up a little bit more here. Your head should just go with how your body moves. It's of course going to turn a little bit as your body turns. It's not like you're staying head forward, but you can let it kind of stay mobile and be aware or responsive to however you want to go in the movement. So, but the foot thing is a really useful thing to know. And then of course, as you come back this way, there's going to be a little bit of your toe turning out on the heel to help you open up on this side. So there's just that little bit of a twisting on the heel here and the ball of the foot here. And those are basic pieces of the movement. Here we go. Forward and then back. Letting those fingers caress around the disc of the pulley and then coming back through the elbow as your arm comes back. Really feeling that connection. It's just as your attention goes to these places, they become a little bit more substantial and energized. And then just letting those fingers trail around the disc behind you. And then once you've got that feel of the energetic connection between your two hands, kind of drawing back and forward as they go past each other, just letting your body get opened by the movement. This is one of these movements that really helps coordinate between the pelvis and the neck, as the spine really gets a good workout with this. We'll do one more time, so we'll come back and then I'll show you how to close out of this. So I'm going to turn just a little bit sideways so you can see this. So as my forward hand comes back, my back hand waits for it. So it kind of starts to slow down and hang out here by my shoulder instead of going forward again. And as my elbow comes back, it brings my foot with it as I come around the back part of the pulley, so that they join with each other in coming down to the graceful resting position. Okay, let's try that on the second side now. And forward. So once again, this movement, because it kind of comes out towards the end, our habit can be to go into the extremes, to kind of look for the stretch. You want to really make sure that you're turning before you get into that feeling of lengthening or stretching out through your body. Even though your nervous system might be habituated to kind of wanting to go into that stretching out place, to get the energy moving, you don't want to be working against yourself, and so tensing against your own tissues, which is part of what we feel in the stretch. you want to kind of let yourself down into that gentle place in between. Where the movement is happening, you're opening up range. But you're not overextending yourself. You're letting the movement open you up rather than you making the opening. Okay, so I'm going to come around one more time. So here we come back, and then as my hand comes back, because this is my forward foot, so this is the one I close with, and graceful conclusion.